Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite and welcome back to Harvest December. So, we just had a rather awkward conversation between Masaki and Yuki and Kohai and Sine, and that sounds like a pretty bad shipping name if you ask me. Anyway, the fireworks painted the stars red. That's so pretty, but it only lasted for a moment. The light soon faded and the skies darkened to black again. Where are we? I haven't a clue, but this place probably doesn't have a name. But it's fitting for you, isn't it, since you don't know where you belong? We are within the grounds of the Rokishiki Shrine. That is why we are able to communicate so easily. Another firework burst above. It only lasted for a moment so brief that people repeated the same thing again and again in hopes of prolonging it. The festival started. Yes, but it's just the beginning. No matter how hard people struggle, they will always bend to the god's will. It's a bit noisy, don't you think? I will say this again. We are within the grounds of Rokishiki. Another firework. What shall we do? I want demolition. I want to get rid of everything that wants to get in the way of our festival. Although I must say, you do seem pretty taken by that boy. Gods of Rokishiki, I must ask. When you say you want to get rid of anything that is against you, do you mean to get rid of the other gods too? What should I... Shut up. Don't disturb our conversation. I'm bored, and these gods won't leave me be. They want to drag me down into the mundane, drab things again. You are trying to destroy the Rokishiki tradition. But that means you are trying to destroy us, too. We only remain gods of Rokishiki because of the Rokishiki way. And if I have to say that word one more time, my tongue is just going to fall straight out of my mouth and onto the floor. So what? I just want to have fun. I'll give Megari power she can belong to. That's the least we can do for a girl that has lent us her voice. We need more fun. This festival is pointless. What is the meaning of having women fight each other? I need to feel the moment again. The moment I knew I was a god. Perhaps you are feeding the memory of Ayako Tokunaga. But she is here no more. You are dreaming in the past, our god. I said shut up. You and all your pointless words. You only have to do as I say. We cannot do that. You must remember the reason why we are not one but many. Piss all that. So you're going against me. As my other half, you're trying to go and bend and Megari to suit up the people's will. Yes, our god. That is what we are here for. That is what we will do. Fine. Do as you will, but do it quick. A storm is coming, and the beast shall roar. Stand by the people if you must. But I will not be bound by Rokishiki. There! I said it again, my tongue is on the floor. You may go back, but I will advance. Do you mean to cross the boundary? If you do, you shall be powerless. Megari could hear them through her ears. The gods were quarreling with her voice. Her mouth twisted into a forced smile. Tell them, Megari. Her mouth relaxed. I am going to belong. Her mouth opened. We shall stop you by the laws of Rokishiki, our god. Her mouth opened. You can try. Those who have suffered rejection in our history shall answer you with vengeance. Her mouth closed. Her throat constricted. She filled her lungs with as much air as she could and breathed out. As she looked up, she could see the movement of the wind and the patterns they made in the air. They twisted and churned. The wind was gaining intensity. Following the patterns back, she could see it from the direction of the sea. To think they were so close the entire time. The intruder moved quietly, her years of practice and control dampening the sounds of her feet. We will do the ritual again. Oh, it's you. So I can return and fight with Nanaki. Yes, that is correct. Megari felt Ruki's voice on her back. She answered simply, but her tone was wary. And where would that leave me? Where would I belong? Ruki tried opening her mouth, but she didn't have an answer. Megari turned around. It was obvious there was nothing she could do for her. The ritual would gain her nothing. Instead, a whisper died on her lips. Golden eyes. Well, who do we know with golden eyes? Typhoon Terror. That hasn't been very long. I'm going to do another one. Hopefully this one won't be too long either. But you never know. Nanaki Rokushiki knew every stone laid on the grounds of the Rokushiki Shrine. In the past, she had not cared. She had made mistakes and hurt Ruki because of them. She had fought on these very stones and was defeated by her friend who managed not just to beat her physically, but beat some sense into her as well. And now, Mother... Right there on the stones was her mother, bloody and broken to the point where she did not know if she still lived. She dropped to her knees. Mother, covered in blood, red everywhere, immobile. I smelled a beast. She did not notice Shiro standing beside her. Megari! Nanaki screamed, her voice tearing at her throat. A raindrop fell on Ruki's cheek. Soon, many others followed. Drip, drip, drip. The individual drops multiplied to a buzz. The wind was now billowing, beating against their ears. The sky darkened to gray. Several footsteps ran towards her, but Nanaki still didn't move. She had no reason to. This... Mizuho covered her mouth in horror. This is bad, Kohai stated the obvious. Rokishiki, lost? Naomi and Nono muttered in disbelief. No! Someone screamed. An answering howl resonated from the forest. Megari! Naomi's expression hardened to that of a warrior. At the same moment, a voice. People, I'm alive. People, hear me! I need you to stop our god. I need your help to stop our god. The minor gods of Rokishiki were speaking through Shiro's mouth. A storm was coming. So this is gonna be like a battle of the— oh my god, that was short. That was only 2 minutes. That was less than 2 minutes. I know I said I hoped it wasn't too long, but that was a little ridiculous. The rain came down mercilessly. Nobody spoke a word. Everybody knew it wasn't the time. Nanaki was fast to act once she grasped reality. She carried the unconscious Ruki into the shrine in her arms the moment she snapped out of her daze. Then quickly but gently she laid her down on the wooden floor. Shiki! Nanaki ran a finger over Ruki's clothes, and just like that, the cloth split open. Blood poured out of her wounds, covering every inch of her skin. Nanaki used the torn cloth to wipe the blood. Hey! Somebody mumbled. It felt like ages since I heard anybody speak. There was a gash of yellow around Ruki's ribs. My mind spun, trying to rationalize thinking about the facts. Yes, it's yellow. We'd imagine it would be white, but because humans have fatty tissue, the color would be... Nanaki covered it with her hands. Shiki! Ruki's body jumped. Her hands and legs hit the floor with a loud thud. Shiki! Again. Nanaki covered her mother's face in her hands, sending her healing powers through her wounds. Shiki! She covered another large wound in her hands and repeated the ritual. Ruki's body spasmed as if she were under shock treatment. She did not wake, but... She's healing. Rokishiki, the healing hand. Black bruises were left around her body, but the wounds had closed and the blood had dried. Gah-ha! Ah! Nanaki coughed and sputtered, bracing herself with her hands on the floor. I missed that. Unlike Ruki, who was lying peacefully, Nanaki seemed to be in great pain from her efforts. Leave the rest to me. Dr. Manaka placed a hand on her shoulder. I wouldn't have studied Western medicine if I had your powers, Nanaki. Mother! Nanaki, where is she? Nanaki looked as if she were about to cry in relief. Ruki clutched her daughter for support. Ow! She folded her body in two, her face contorting in pain. I've closed the external wounds, but there is still some damage internally. Leave it to me. Dr. Manaka opened her bag and took out a sterilized packet. Ripping the seams open, she quickly prepared the syringe and filled it with anesthetic. It will help with the pain. I don't need it. If you paralyze me, I won't be able to fight. You can't anyway, not in your current state. Arm out, please. I don't want... Ow! Don't move, you had your ribs poking out of you not so long ago. Come on. No, no, no! Mother? Ruki turned her head to look away. Don't tell me you're afraid of injections. I was alright. Hold her down. Yes. No, please no! Your hands are shaking! I managed to do this 2 years ago. That's just as bad as saying you don't know how to do it. Hold her down. Dr. Manaka? Your eyes are... It's alright. I just watched the movie Meet Something Black recently too. You've got the wrong black. That has nothing to do with medics. Ruki was well versed in comic books. Now, no! A few minutes after an excruciating scream, sniff. It hurts so bad, it hurts so bad, Ruki sobbed as her daughter watched and rolled her eyes. Excuse me, I spoke to the still sobbing Ruki. You lied to me. Ruki immediately sobered up. I couldn't do anything. I never seen a mother so powerless before. I don't even know how I got here. Was Megari that strong? If she was human, I would never have lost, Ruki answered, with great control over her raging emotions. So she wasn't human. That was the power of a god. But that doesn't make sense, I answered, pointing out the problem. She never finished the ritual. There's no way that was her power. That was the god of Rokishiki himself. There was no Kagami crystal, Naomi replied. Even if the ritual was a success, without a Kagami crystal, a human couldn't wield the powers. Even if the Rokushiki god used Megari as a vessel, her body is still human. It was Tomomi that explained it to everyone. You're missing out on the very essence of how God's power works. Maldistribution. Takaki nodded towards Ruki's answer. A god's power reigns over everything. The Kagami crystal is simply a medium that augments those powers to a level visible to us humans. So it is not essential as long as you have the god on your side. I don't know why, but my throat just suddenly, went into full, allergy season mode. Possibly because it's allergy season as I'm recording this. If there is a Kagami crystal, the powers would still be augmented, however. Maldistribution is not necessarily even, hence the name. A god may hold power in his territory, but we have no way to find out how strong his powers are in a certain area. Perhaps we never will know. The anesthetic must be working. Ruki was speaking easily now. When I found her, she was still within the Rokushiki territory. That may explain her powers. So there is a limit to the area which the Kagami crystal will work. The bigger the Kagami crystal is, the further the area it covers. Like an antenna, Mizuho commented. Do you mean... Give me a minute. Alright, do you mean to say that Megari-chan is weak when she is not close to the shrine? No, not bad coming from you, Marino-senpai. What are you saying? A murderer often tries to get as far away as possible from the crime scene. Don't glare at me like that. It was only a figure of speech, Miori said quickly, noticing Naomi's angry eyes. Megari is hiding somewhere. Even if she has a god by her side, without a Kagami crystal, her powers will weaken. Am I right? Mai Shiro, who had come in following her sister. My who? Oh. Whatever. Yes, but she is still stronger than any of us that have not been blessed. Today is not a good day for recording for me, is it? At least not for talking and recording. I could probably do this silently, but where's the fun in that? Ruki's voice turned hoarse as she spoke, and for a moment she stilled with her mouth open. I have no idea what I was dealing with. She gritted her teeth bitterly. Nanaki, Naomi, Tomomi, Nono, and Kiyohara all shared the same expression. We all looked at one another, unsure what to say. Gah! A blood-curdling scream rang through the island. Megari. Naomi balled her hands into fists, her knuckles whitening. And that was another relatively short chapter. I'm going to end this off here anyway. I hope you all enjoyed that. My name is Dragonite, and I will see you all later.